All right, guys. I hope you've got your peanuts and Cracker Jacks ready because the Major League Baseball season is getting started as players report to spring training. Last year, I was lucky enough to be with the San Francisco Giants in Scottsdale for work, and I managed to squeeze in a little bit of time to get some pretty dope photos. At spring training last year, I shot 3 rolls of film. This is the first of 3 videos, each video sharing those photos from 3 different film stocks. The first roll I'm sharing was shot on Ilford Delta 3200 on my Canon 1N. You may be asking yourself, Torn, isn't baseball played outside? Why would you shoot baseball on this film stock? Well, because I knew I would be operating cameras in a very dark interview room, and I wanted to get some candid behind-the-scenes shots. And that's exactly what I did. This shot is of Garvin Alston in the interview room. He's the Giants bullpen coach. Super cool dude with a ton of knowledge about the game. And he was an absolute soundbite machine. This one is of a guy named Dave Righetti, more commonly referred to as Rags. He was the pitching coach for the team from 2000 to 2017, and he oversaw some of the most dominant pitching staffs maybe ever while I worked for the team from 2009 to 2013. You know, back when the Giants won the World Series just about every other year. Now this guy is an absolute baseball legend. Dusty Baker, 19 seasons as a player, 26 seasons as a manager, 2 World Series championships, 1 as a player and 1 as a manager. Pretty prolific career, and I showed this picture as one of my favorites from 2024 in a prior video. Check it out to see why. These were all shot on my Canon N1 with my cheap little 35mm pancake lens. When I went outside, I used a 70 to 200 because I knew I could set the f-stop to around f11 and still get some depth of field out of the lens shooting at 3200 ISO. Now this shot is just a cool pic of players warming up for practice. Got this shot of Giants catcher Patrick Bailey taking some hacks in the cages. I dig the motion blur on this one. Not sure who's hitting here, but the hitting coach is none other than Pat Burrell. And when I worked for the Giants, he was still playing, and they called him Pat the Bat. He helped the Giants win their first West Coast championship in 2010. And if you're bored and looking to be entertained, Google is Pat Burrell the Machine. You're welcome.
Oh, I mean, they probably think that it's cruel to do. Whoa! Hey!
What?
What was that?
Was what?
Panda, Pablo Sandoval, the only player in camp that I knew from my time working with the Giants. He had received an invite to camp as the window of his career was closing. He didn't make the team, but I got a few shots of him for sentimental reasons. Jorge Soler was a big free agent signing. He was the DH for the squad until they traded him mid-season. These next few shots are from the interview room with Giants ace Logan Webb. I've been around a lot of athletes who are labeled as leaders. This guy exudes leadership. He walks it and he talks it. And honestly, it's a rare quality. I love this shot of Logan posing for a photo on Media Day. In the foreground is legendary Giants photographer Andy Cuno. So back to the interview room. This is Jung-Hoo Lee. Last year was his rookie year in the bigs. The Giants signed him to a 6-year, $113 million deal out of the Korean Baseball Organization, or KBO. He doesn't speak much English, so he had a translator for the interview, which always makes things a little interesting. The next few shots are from Media Day, which is essentially a car wash for the team and media to capture content with all the players and coaches. Most players, they don't care for this day very much. But it seems like Jung-Hoo Lee was having a blast. He also took any chance he got to interact with fans and sign autographs. Thank you for joining me as I shared some black and white, extremely grainy shots from last year's Giants spring training. Tune in next week as spring training gets a little weird with a lomography film stock and media, and whoa, because I knew I could set that mother, which made things a lot easier. In the foreground is legendary. Ooh, that's a word that's gonna get me. In the foreground is legendary. Alrighty. Check.